Hi from Pax Europiana. This is the founding father of the Austrian Republic, 1 and 2 actually, in 1918 and in 1945. It was Karl Renner. He is the hero of Austria, of Austrian freedom. And I think I speak in his name when I say it's time for NATO membership, because we need to be secure from the Russians. Mr. Renner absolutely knew what the Russians are. He was a leading social democrat and he was very, very anti-communist. Yeah? He was for the workers and for the people, and he was against the communist dictatorship. And what is today happening, and he was obviously for the against the fascist dictatorship of the Nazis as well. So he was a real democrat, and it's very important to defend democracy. And Russia is now a fascist regime. There's no doubt anymore that Putin has gone all Nazi, because his speech, which he has done 2 days ago, about this vermin, people are insects, and the oligarchs must be destroyed, and all this terrible kind of cleansing of the Russian soul and nation. This is fascist talk in pure, and there's no doubt about it. Yeah? He has gone the full fascist turn. It's also fitting to his imperial kind of traumas of loss of imperial size. So he has not changed personally, but he has changed ideologically, away from this. He's still the same KGB agent, probably. I don't know if he believes anything, but he has made the circle into a fascist. Yeah? It happened often that people from the left, the extreme left, has turned fascist. Yeah? Remember Mussolini and others, yeah? Or Goebbels. Yeah? And the situation is Putin has been this way. And in order to be safe, we all must be in NATO. There is no other way. NATO is the only security for Europe. If you think about it, without America we are lost. We are 100% lost. Yeah? And this is now true for the Ukrainians, and it's true for the Georgians, for the Moldovans, for all Europeans. Yeah? We must be united in the West, and we must be also Austria must also contribute financially, also in solidarity. And NATO is the force of European peace. Yeah? And this must be very clear, to be absolutely clear. It's not a war alliance. There are some in the left which have a complete confused anti-American views, and that is poisoning their mind. Yeah? They don't understand the freedom force of America and of NATO, because the Americans wanted to withdraw from after the defeat of the Nazis in 1945. They did so. They only came gradually back after the Soviets wanted to take over everything. And this is very important. We all live under the nuclear umbrella of America, and that's very good. So it's not perfect. Obviously, a world without nuclear weapons will be maybe one day when there is no hostile regime anymore which wants to dominate the world and blackmail everybody into submission, and in the process destroying other nations, as the Russians are now doing in Ukraine. They will not do it actually, because the Ukrainians are fighting, and the Ukrainians are resisting, and the Americans are supplying them with weapons. But Europe is doing only the minimal. I'm not happy with Europe, and Austria is doing almost nothing. Austria has to supply arms to the Ukrainians. This is very important. Austria has to join NATO in order to get rid of all these legislative, mythical kind of neutrality chains, in order to be a full member of NATO, and to show solidarity and to contribute financially and also technically, militarily, logistically to the Ukrainian effort of resisting. And I think that's the legacy of Europe, of Austrian freedom, and that's the legacy of Karl Renner. And that's why I call here for Austrian NATO membership. And I hope it doesn't need a third republic or something confusing. It's not to change Austria fundamentally, it's just to fulfill the dream of West integration, to be the dream of freedom, the dream of being liberated from the Nazis, as it was in 1945 by the American power, and also to be safe from Russian domination. This is what Austria is, and this is what we should be, and this is very important. Yeah? And that's the defense of freedom. Comes with a price. We also have to pay, we also have to show solidarity, we also have to contribute, and we have also then to make our contribution inside NATO to be a peaceful alliance as it is. Yeah? And you know, that's, I think, a powerful mission also for the Austrian left, for the Austrian center-right, and of course the nationalists will be against it, but let them isolate. That's why I call for a coalition of all the democratic parties to join in the parliament, the liberals, NEOs, the Social Democrats, the SPÖ and the ÖVP, and also the Green Party, to vote yes for Austrian NATO membership after the presidential elections, where this must be the main topic. And then the people will be learning about NATO, learning the facts and the truth, and then they will join. And then we make this 2/3 resolution, and then there will be new elections, and hopefully there will be a more pro-European, pro-American government. Yeah? And I think it will be led then by the Social Democrats. So that's basically also my thinking about this big offer between Vranitzky and Buzek to be repeated now for the conclusion of West integration of Austria. And I think that's very logical and that's very good, and that's my big hope. And I hope that this will happen. And I think it's the future, and we will be all secure, free and safe, prosperous inside NATO and the EU, and also the Ukrainians will join, I hope so. And also this war will end by NATO power, because ultimately we are all depending on American support. And I call for America to invite Austria, to invite Ukraine, to invite Kosovo and Bosnia, and to be much faster in the integration, and to have a free Europe, a secure Europe, and the chaos of Russian autocracy must be rejected. And also, when I may say so, if I hope that also Serbia will join the West. Yeah, I doubt it. We should also make that very clear. NATO and EU are unity. EU to join NATO, and also Serbia not to be part of EU as long as it rejects NATO. This must be very clear, and this is what we have to make clear on the next summit now in Brussels. And we have to also make very clear that we as Austrians, we want to be part of the West, please. That's what I asked Mr. Buzek 1 year ago. He didn't agree. I know it's a very difficult thing to ask the Austrian politicians, because they've never explained the reality of